Everything is okay on my end. We are going live, or we're probably actually live right now. I'm so excited to connect with you guys today. So many amazing things happening. So first of all, obviously, I just want to welcome you guys to the Ask XayLi show. If you got my email, you're not seeing me just yet, but if you got my email, you kind of understand that, you know what, I just decided, usually I'll overthink things, but I decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this show. I'm going to make it worthwhile. It's going to be pretty exciting and we're just going to get together and answer a few questions and things like that. So I'm super excited for that. Let me just make sure that my microphone is all the way together and that I have everything that I need. Let me know if you can hear me, and we'll get along. Hey, Taisha. Hey, Nelise. Oh my gosh, you guys are here. You guys are in the house. I am so happy too. So this is the thing. I was like, you know what? Hey, Denise. Oh my gosh. Hi. I decided I was going to do this. I'm really super excited about it. And I'm just going to wait for a few more people to get in. Oh my gosh. I am so happy. Okay. Sophia said that I sound great. And so now, I'm going to say hello everyone. Super excited for you guys to be here. Hey, Stephanie Lou. Oh my gosh, my good friend Stephanie Lou is here. Hi, Stephanie. I'm so excited that you're here. Hello. All right, Sonia is here. Sonia said good evening. Good evening, everybody. It's Friday. It's the 16th of October. And listen, I'm really excited about this. So here's the story. Right. I decided, hey, I got to start my Facebook group actually has been so amazing. And you guys got the email about that. I'm like, you know what? I have to just start doing a live Q&A because there are so many questions inside of that group. And if you have not joined that group yet, let me tell you, you are missing out on everything. Right. So you can head to XayLiBarclay.com to get into the group. It's just such a different experience. And I'm so proud of you guys. The people who are probably in there and probably shy, but you guys are still showing up, still talking, still creating video content. I've never seen anything like it. Right. Thank you guys for all the compliments. Welcome. So wait, before we actually get into things, first of all, I am XayLi Barclay. If you don't know who I am, welcome. I am a visual content creation coach, and I'm also the creator of the Start, Shoot, Grow Video Academy. Another thing, I am also a Thinkific expert. So Thinkific is one of the programs one of the tools that I use that completely just changed my business, right? Because I'm able to do so much with that platform. So I love letting you guys know that the direction or the perspective that I teach video from is really getting on camera, breaking through all of your fears and the things that you think are flaws, and using those as a way to really create an online presence that stops the scroll, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to stand out from the rest. And on top of that, we also want to be able to monetize the things that we are creating, whether that's a masterclass, whether it's you creating a funnel, whatever that is. We've got to remember that video content is needed for whichever aspect of growing your online presence you are in, or scaling, or whatever that is. And that is what we do over at Start, Shoot, Grow. So if you're not in the Facebook group, head to XayLiBarclay.com and get in there. I want to see you, right? So yes, I'm so excited to have you on here, and we are live on all platforms, right? But if you want to join the exclusive conversation, we are inside of the Facebook group. And like I said, you can get there by heading to XayLiBarclay.com. I highly recommend you join us because, like I said, it's super epic. And shout out to all the people that are already in there. Now, what I want to make sure is that you understand that in there, one of the things that we want to do is just make sure that we are stepping outside of our comfort zones. And so if you are in the Facebook group, you already know what that is like, and you can let the other people in the comments know what that's like. I'm looking at the comments now. Like I said, in there, I really, really teach things that I don't teach on the outside on social. So we get really deep inside of the group, and we have full-on master classes and such. I love teaching, so that's what I do in there. And the thing is, if you're inside the group and you hashtag Ask XayLi, you get a chance to be featured on the live show, right? Which is this show. If you missed this show, don't worry. We will have a replay up for you, and we will have different segments that we're uploading across all platforms up to you as well. So let's dive into a bit of housekeeping, right? So just making sure that you know, if you're not in the group, you can't hashtag XayLi, Ask XayLi all over social. I really take those questions from inside of my Facebook group because that's where my crew is, right? So housekeeping, like I said before, this show is sponsored by the good people over at startshootgrow.com, right? Which is my community. Listen, it's different over there, right? And I couldn't do this or wouldn't do this if it wasn't for them. Like I said, in there, I saw that people had so many questions. So I was like, you know what? The best way for me to do this is to really go live and talk about this, right? Talk about the things, the questions that people have. The other thing is I want you to share this video. Somebody needs this, right? And the cool thing about sharing is that sometimes we don't realize we need something, but when we see it, we're like, oh my gosh, I needed that. So I'm going to give you guys a little time to share. If you're on the Facebook page, if you're on YouTube, invite somebody. If you're over on Periscope, because I think we're streaming over on Periscope, on Twitter as well. I'm not too sure. But if you are, all I'm asking you for is to just share this live stream. The more that we can share it, the more people that we can get really dominating on camera. And that is always my goal, right? So yes, share. And also, you guys know I love to shout out my replay viewers. And inside of the Facebook group, what we do is we hashtag replay crew so that I can see that you are here, even if you missed it, right? So welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you are here. I'm excited. We are going to talk about a few things today, all right? So let's get into it. Now, the first question is, and let me know in the comments. I want you guys to talk to me in the comments. You guys know how I am about comments. Talk to me. Let's get into it. Let's dive into it. So the first question is from Sydney, and Sydney is inside of our Facebook group, and she is absolutely amazing. One thing I love about Sydney is I can say, Sydney, do this, that, this, and this, and she goes and she does it. So Sydney, if you are here, let us know you're here, talk to us. And Sydney asked inside of the Facebook group where she hashtagged Ask XayLi, Sydney said, I'd love to hear your thoughts about deciding, right, to be your own brand in addition to your company, right? Yes, Sydney, that's you. You're featured today. Congratulations, love. You always have the best questions. And so she asked, what made you decide to promote yourself versus pushing the academy or company image? Was it because of a certain level of growth or future possibilities? And she also asked, did you feel like you gave up a certain level of privacy or the ability to just have a personal social media when you did that, right? And Sydney, that's a packed question. And Sonia, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you. And if you guys have not shared yet, definitely share and let me know that you shared so that I can give you that shout out, girl, because I appreciate the sharing. Right? So, Sydney, that is a packed question. And I can only give you my answer from my perspective. One thing that I always encourage my students and clients to do is just to think bigger, right? So it's so crazy. And you'll hear me say this a lot. Right now is a time where we do have businesses, but guess what? A lot of us are also in the place where we're creating something, right? But we are also, I'm me, right? So I am XayLi Barclay, right? I am the creator of the Start, Shoot, Grow Academy. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the next 10 years. I know that it may be in connection to what I'm doing now, or it may not be. You can see a lot of founders and CEOs, they are in places where they started, like, let's say Sarah Blakely. She started Spanx, right? She started Spanx so long ago, and now, she may want to change direction. Even Jessica Alba, she started as an actress. That's who we know her as. And now she has the Honest Company, right? Who else? Let me know in the comments, like, who else do you really like? Who do you love and follow, and they started doing one thing, but you continued along the journey with them? I love giving the example of Myleik Teele. She's absolutely amazing, and she does curl box, right? But then she started doing the My Taught You retreats, or I'm saying that wrong, and if you are here, correct me, definitely. Rihanna started out as a singer, right? We all know who Rihanna is. Whoever gave that, I think Sydney, is that you? Somebody said Rihanna, but whoever shared that, because I'm seeing Facebook user, because I'm using Restream and we can't actually see everything right now, which happens sometimes. Nash, thank you for sharing, love. Ice Cube started as a rapper. We all know that Ice Cube is in a bit of hot water right now, right? Ice Cube in hot water. That's so funny. But Rihanna is a really good example. So let's think about it. Rihanna started out as an entertainer, and then she kind of slipped into acting for a bit, but now she is running one of the biggest companies based on inclusivity, beauty, and just feeling yourself. And that is something that we got to look at, right? So even though she is now diversifying her endeavors, she started out as an entertainer. But we buy Fenty Beauty because it's our homegirl, Robin, right? And even let's look at Rihanna. She started out as Rihanna, but then we got to know her as Robin Fenty as well. So Robin Fenty, the businesswoman. If you were enrolled inside of my Package Your Presence for Profit on Camera class, you know that is something that I speak about. Right? So Rihanna is like the entertainer. Robin Fenty is the businesswoman. But we have come to know and love these two people. Even Beyonce, guys. FFY Destiny said Will Smith started out as a rapper as well. Guys, it's really about there is only one you. There's only one you. There's only one you. And the beautiful thing is that you are then able to dip your fingers. But I love to say, dominate one thing. Dominate one thing, because we got to realize that the people that we know and love, they actually were known for something specific, and then they diverted and did something else. So dominate one thing, and then you are able to move on. Huda Katan. I don't think I've heard of that person, Sonia, but thank you for sharing. And maybe I am out of the loop. But, I want you guys to think about it in that way. Dominate the thing that you're doing that you really want to get known for, and then you can diversify. So dominate and diversify. And so for me, Sydney, that is really where that came from. Or that is what I was thinking. So even though I was doing this years ago, I was thinking about the bigger picture. So yes, I am XayLi Barclay, and I'll tell you who I am. I'm a visual content creation coach, and I specialize in video content, helping women to get really confident on camera so that they can market and sell and build things through video content, because we need video content. But you got to think about it in that way, right? Think about it in that way, where you may want to pivot and push. And so that is just my thought, guys. Keep in mind, Ask XayLi is just what XayLi thinks is exactly what you should be doing, right? So think about yourself as a brand and dominate, and then you're able to diversify, because sometimes we go through seasons in life. So you guys know when I talk and teach, I don't only speak from this moment in time. I like to talk about emotions and feelings and things that we go through as it pertains to us growing. And sometimes this might be really important in this season of life, but something might come about in the next season that I feel like people need to see or be a part of or buy or whatever it is. And so that's what it is. Rihanna's season for entertainment is probably always going to be a baseline, but she's always growing and showing and sharing other things. And that is something really amazing. FFY Destiny said, multiply before you diversify. And that in itself is a word. Right? So yes, so we want to think about things in that way. So Sydney, I'm not sure if that helped. Let me make sure that I go back to that question and that I got it. I see I am so new to all of this and it's very overwhelming. You know what? It is not completely overwhelming. I think a lot of times we forget what our goal is. And we're going to be talking about goals as we move a little further into this show because I'm going to cover a few more things. But let me just make sure I answered Sydney's question. So Sydney said, what made you really be your own brand? I can only be myself, Sydney, and that's really what it is, right? In addition to Start, Shoot, Grow. So that's what it is. And she also said, what made you decide to promote yourself versus really pushing the academy company image? I do, but they are two different. I have two different goals as it pertains to those two different endeavors, if that makes sense. And was it because of a certain level of growth or future possibilities? Yes, which is what we kind of discussed before. And did you feel like you gave up a certain level of privacy or the ability to just have a personal social media when you did that? That's okay. And I saw that you re-asked that, Sydney. So that is really good. So this is the thing. I don't. Because when I think about Start, Shoot, Grow, I have to think about how different it is from the other people that are also in my industry. And listen, your girl over here is all about community over competition, right? But we have to know what's different about what we do as it pertains to our competitors or the people that are in our industry. I feel like I teach video from a much more heart-centered space, right? And so, but guess what? That comes from my past, right? I always tell you guys, I started off in the online game and I was really into more lifestyle and beauty content. And then I realized that I had a way of breaking things down. And this is something that people kept coming to me for and people kept telling me, right? And so that kind of made me pull all of those aspects in. Like, I love fashion. I love a bit of makeup. I love video strategy. I love helping you understand how to really grow your audience, how to communicate with them, how to be relatable. And so those things, a lot of those things come from who I am on a personal side or a personal aspect. And I believe in running a business that really keeps you happy, right? And so if I had only stayed on the strategy side of things, I would not be completely happy. So I had to kind of figure out a way to mesh those things. And in doing that, I realized that the people that I really serve are interested in other aspects of what I share as well. Example, I have a video coming up on the YouTube channel about launching. When I look at launching, or when you're launching a course or something, most people just talk about the statistical aspects of it. Nobody speaks about the emotional aspects of launching. And I decided I wanted to share that because it's something that a lot of people don't think about, right? So I shared tips for, understanding, the emotional aspects of launching. But that's because I know how it affects me and nobody speaks about these things, right? So in doing that, I feel like I have not lost myself, and it helps me differentiate my brand, who I am and what I do, and even who I serve. It helps me attract a specific type of person that I really believe I can help. Now, this is the thing. For me, what it also does is I know my goals for personal and for Start, Shoot, Grow. So I know my goals for XayLi Barclay, and I also know my goals for Start, Shoot, Grow, right? And I keep those things in mind. So no, I don't feel like I've lost completely what I'm sharing on a personal basis on my social media platforms, because I know my goals for my personal social media platforms. It's really to get to know you better, right? Or really for me to attract you based on things that are relatable or related to who I am as a business owner, as a video coach, as a Thinkific expert. So my personal profile is really one of my biggest traffic drivers, because what it does is it helps me bring in people or attract people. And then I can let you know, hey, I'm a video coach and this is what I do. Or, you can follow me over at startshootgrow.com. And that's how that really grows for me, because I am the creator of the Start Shoot Grow Video Academy. So I know what my goals are. Yes, Sonia, it will be available inside of the group. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. You don't even know, girl. But yes, so we want to think about things in that way. Like, what are my specific goals for each of my platforms, right? And that is another thing. So somebody said, and I think it's Sydney, because I see Facebook user on my end, what if you have multiple business owners multiple business ideas that make you happy? And my answer to that would be, actually, you don't have to monetize everything, right? Pick one thing and dominate that thing. So let's go back to domination, right? Let's go back to the domination of whatever it is that you are doing or trying to do. Like, you gotta focus on one thing for a while. I'm not saying that you can't do different things. Let's focus on one thing for a while. Make sure that one thing does something, because guess what? A lot of us, we try to do everything and we end up doing nothing. That's a word. Right? A lot of us are out here trying to do 500 things and we're not known for one thing specifically. And then you divert your attention in so many different ways that, girl, it just doesn't work out. So the way that I like to think about it is, if I ask somebody, like if I get in my Facebook group and I ask you guys in the Facebook group, who is XayLi? Right? Because you got to remember, your brand is what people are saying about you, or what people think about you. Imagine Rihanna back in the day. This is a good one. Imagine Rihanna back in the day trying to do Ponder Replay, which was her first single, trying to create an album or release an album, and on top of that, trying to sell you makeup. I don't know how well that would work, guys. So let's commit to, because you have a lots of business ideas, it does not mean that you have to focus on monetizing them all at once. I want you to think about that, and I want you to take that in and really focus on it. Let me tell you, I have so many business ideas. Sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I get mad at my brain because too much is going on inside of it. Right? And so you have to think about that. Sydney said, does it ever get tired? Does it ever get tiring being a public persona? And maybe at a certain point, it becomes energizing, more energizing than overwhelming. Yes, Sydney. If I told you no, I would be lying. But what I keep at my forefront, and you know this, is my purpose. What is my purpose for being here? How am I intentionally helping people? How am I really making a difference or a shift in the world? And I think that re-energizes me. So sometimes, yes, you get to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, this is too much. But I know my purpose and I know what I've been put here for. And that keeps me focused whenever it comes to me feeling tired or burnout. And the cool thing is, you guys know specifically, when I have to step away, I have to step away. Right? And I let you guys know, hey, I needed to take a break, or I needed to step away for a bit. And I would hope that you guys would respect that. And so that's really what it is. So yes, it gets tiring sometimes, but I also am aware of the people that are depending on me to move forward. I also am aware of the fact that I've been put here for a specific purpose. And I know that my purpose is connected to confidence, which I have, coined confidence, or helping people really, really dominate or really become confident, because that was one of my biggest struggles, right? So yes, it does, but I always go back to my purpose. Sydney, I hope that was helpful. Oh my gosh, Denise, welcome. I don't know who invited you. Queen Sister Taisha Bradley, I just saw that, invited you. Welcome. Thank you, Taisha, for sharing. You guys are so amazing. I can't stop saying it, right? Yaya said, yes, that's me. I enjoy sewing, virtual assistanting. I love that word. And making natural body butters. So you enjoy a lot of things. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I enjoy makeup. I enjoy hairstyling. I enjoy sharing about my locks. I enjoy sharing about my lifestyle. I enjoy sharing about video content. But for me, what really makes a difference is when I can see somebody take exactly what I shared with them and make money and, start becoming free from all of the things that they were thinking about themselves before. That lights me up the most. Right? Sydney said I switched to a different platform. Awesome, Sydney. Right? So that's the thing. You don't always have to monetize all of the things that are going through your mind. I want to take this time though to just remind you guys to head over to XayLiBarclay.com. At the top bar of my website, you will see where you can join our Facebook group if you're not in there already. And if you are in there already, then I more than likely know you if you're always commenting or asking questions, which is why I'm always kikiing with my people in the comments, right? So you don't have to monetize everything. Right? Facebook user said, hey, XayLi, I cannot see you because it says Facebook user, but welcome. And I'm so happy that you are here. Sydney, I hope I answered your question. We got to remember that different aspects of what we do have different goals connected to them, but always remembering like what is my purpose as it pertains to my people keeps me focused. All right. Next question, right? TJ Walker, and this question kind of came in today. TJ asked, what teleprompter app do you recommend? And I am excited to share about that because I'm kind of using it right now. So I'll tell you about my teleprompter journey. If you give me 1 second just to step away, I will be right back. I'm still here, guys, but I'm actually just making sure that everything is set on my set. All right. All right, guys, I am back. Thank you so much for that. All right. So this is a really good question. And I will share my thoughts about a teleprompter, right? I will tell you exactly why I never used to use one and why I do not recommend using one, especially when you're first starting to create video content. So here's the thing. Teleprompters are amazing. They're amazing tools. When you're first starting out creating video content, one thing that we are all nervous about is saying the wrong things, right? Let me know if you think about this all the time. Like, oh my gosh, XayLi, like I'm scared of saying the wrong thing or being wrong or, all of that stuff. We all go through it. We're not perfect. Nobody is perfect here. I'm not perfect here. And I have the same worries that you have. But I have learned how to actually overcome those things, right? So having the struggle of feeling that way, and I tell you guys this all the time, it lets you know, I need to do a little bit more research as it pertains to what I'm doing. That's all. Right? Now, if you had a teleprompter, then you can just read. You can copy from a website and you can read everything, right? Based on, and then let me tell you, even doing that is difficult. Like me using a teleprompter now, and I only got it because I'm doing much more brand work because of COVID. A lot more brands are like, hey, XayLi, we have this thing. We do not have an in-studio crew. Your video quality is amazing. Your personality on camera is amazing. How can we hire you to do this? So that's what I've been doing a lot lately. So that's the only reason why I got it, because when you're doing brand sponsorships and things like that, you have specific things that you need to say. And they're not always things that are heart-centered or things that you remember from, your brain, your working brain every single day. You guys know I tell you as it is. Now, so because of that, one thing that I have done is invested in a teleprompter. But in the beginning, I don't advise that because we have so many other things to think about. What I would prefer that you do is script your video content, right? And you guys know that I shared a scripting formula. I feel like when you are unscripted, you are so much more into what you're saying. So even for today, you guys know I love sharing back end things that I'm doing. For today, the only thing that I really scripted, to be really honest with you guys, was the beginning, right? Where I wanted to make sure that I was sharing everything that I actually wanted to share with you guys. Like, hey, if you are here, definitely share, with the viewers that, or your friends that you have, or I shared a bit of housekeeping. And so I put that on the teleprompter, but that's all that I put on there because I know in teaching or in answering these questions, I can speak from the heart. Because this is what I do. This is my life. This is the daily, and this is what I love to do. So I can share from the heart as it pertains to questions and queries and things like that. But when you are doing a show, you got to remember, I got to hit this, that, and this. And I was able to use my teleprompter to do that. So that's why I don't recommend using a teleprompter when you just are starting to get on camera, because I don't want you being a robot. I want you, when you're just starting to get into video, I want you to get into your personality and who you are. And if you're using a teleprompter, you will be focused on reading, and you don't want to do that. And even though I am using a teleprompter at times, it's really more bullet points because then I can go off of my brain, right? It's hard to just sit and read something, and I do not recommend that. Sydney said, I do. I used to go unscripted, but then I had so much editing, so I switched to teleprompters, and now I'm thinking of going back to unscripted. Exactly. I feel like when I love going unscripted because if I have a bullet point, I can go off the dome on that bullet point and just flow. I love flowing from the heart. I feel like my viewers can see when I'm flowing from the heart. And using a teleprompter takes practice. It takes having a personality, first of all. Like I said, when you go unscripted, you get to develop that. You get to connect with your audience. You get to communicate. It's so much, goodness. And then you can get into mastering how to read online. Now, for my teleprompter, I put it inside of my Amazon store, right? Because I can't even remember the name of it right now. I think it's called the Glide Gear teleprompter. It is $199, so it was an investment. But when I tell you guys to make an investment, it's really something that you are going to be using for the long term, right? So don't be too nervous about your teleprompter and it being a lot of money. These are tools for our craft, and they're only going to make what you're doing so much better. Somebody said they're late to the party. I can't see your name, but girl, yes, you are late. It's 7:34. But I'm still happy to have you here, right? So you got to think about it in that way. So the first thing that I do is I make sure that I know exactly what I'm going to say. I make sure that I have my bullet points, and then I put them on the teleprompter. The teleprompter app that I use is called Prompt Smart. And I love it. It's another investment, but it helps me to be able to show up the best for you guys, right? And you guys know that listen, if I have to use my phone, I definitely will. And it's something that I've done on live before. I think that when you are more yourself and you're not trying to be perfect or present yourself as something that you are not, your videos are so much more interesting. Like, I posted a video on YouTube this week where I showed my back end, and it was a very relaxed, hey, this is exactly what it is kind of video. Be yourself. You don't have to try to be homegirl next door, but of course you can craft your own on-camera persona until you get comfortable with who you are exactly, right? But so I use Prompt Smart. The reason why I use Prompt Smart is because it kind of it has a way of listening to what you're saying, and then it picks up what you're saying, and the screen moves while you're saying something. I do like that option of it because it just helps while you're going through what you're reading. You don't have to think too much. However, today I actually used their remote. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys probably can't see that because my phone is probably blurred out, but I use my iPad in the teleprompter, and they have a remote control and you can move it up or down. Don't worry, I will be creating an in-depth video on this so you guys know. Yes, Sydney said she uses Prompt Smart too. So it's a really cool tool. And I love that I can go back and forth with my phone as the remote and with my iPad as the thing that I am reading into. So let me see. LJ, I think, was the person who asked that. So LJ Walker, you are featured on our show today. Congratulations. I picked your question inside of the Facebook group. You guys know that you can get into the Facebook group and do Ask XayLi as the hashtag, and I will be picking your questions. You'll get to be featured on our show every Friday. So yes, that is actually what I use, and I love it. All right. So the next question that we have is from Javon Hamilton. I don't know if Javon is here today, but Javon is so active inside of our Facebook group. I love it, right? So this is the thing. Javon asked, for those of you who have social media, right, who have 2 social media accounts, personal and business, do you post your content and announcements on both or just your business one? So this was a good Ask XayLi question inside of our Facebook group. Guys, I can't express how much I love that Facebook group because you guys be in there just, representing, creating, being consistent, asking questions. And I'm always mind blown by the questions that you ask. This is such a good question, Javon. Now, let me tell you, this question is one that it's really preferential. So for me, I have an audience on my XayLi Barclay account, which is my personal account. And sometimes, like I said, because that's my traffic driver, it also, although I do have people because of YouTube that are just subscribed to the Start Shoot Grow account, and that's it. Right? But if I'm doing something that I feel like, oh my gosh, I really want everyone to know, I will share on both accounts because some of my audience is really tapped into who XayLi is, but some of them just want to know video stuff, and that's completely cool. And I think it's really about respecting your audience and understanding that some people are just here for the tips, girl. Right? And some people are here to understand more about you. More of my audience is actually tuned into who I am. And then, the video really comes into play because I also use a lot of the strategy and what I share on my personal account. Right? So a lot of people love looking at the personal account, seeing what I'm doing, monitoring. I have people that always tell me, well, XayLi, I'm always looking at what hashtags you're using, what you're doing lately, how you're creating content. And I don't mind that. I'm here for it all. Right? So for me, if it's something huge, yes, like let's say it's a masterclass and I want to make sure that everybody knows I will hit my personal account. I will hit my business account. I will also hit my email list, because whatever I'm doing is also a part of me. And you have the option to, if you're only interested in the personal, girl, you could ignore it, right? But Start Shoot Grow is a huge part of what I do and who I am, especially in this season of life where I am really committed to helping women get confident on camera. So yes, you will see Start Shoot Grow stuff on my account. Will my personal account be saturated with Start Shoot Grow stuff? No. Will I always be talking about video content on my personal account? No, because in there, I also would love for you to get to know me and for me to get to know you. So that's the difference within my personal account. I also have I have way more in-depth XayLi stuff. And on Start Shoot Grow, I have way more in-depth Start Shoot Grow video stuff. Cassandra, hello. Right? So that's the difference in having your personal account and your business account. I think it's really important for us to know what are the goals of each account. And it goes back to Sydney's question. What's the goal of my personal account and what is the goal of my business account, right? Obviously, my business account is going to be based on more business stuff, right? And my personal account is going to be based on a lot more personal stuff, getting to know me, understanding that I too have the same struggles that you have, or I had the same struggles that you had. For me, getting on camera and teaching about video content, I tell you guys all the time, there are struggles that I used to have, and there are struggles that come back over and over and over again. So even though we got over them, girl, they love showing themselves again. Like sometimes I'll go through a phase where I haven't gotten on camera for a while, but because I'm sharing content on YouTube, it keeps bringing my customers in anyway, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I need to start sharing something else. And I haven't gotten on camera for a while. And then I start thinking like, oh wow, well, I haven't recorded in a while, like, you know, because I batch create a lot of stuff. Like I have so many videos coming for you guys now that I've recorded forever ago, right? And because of that, I started thinking like, oh my gosh, XayLi, so now I got to get back on camera, and I haven't done this in a while, and I have to figure things out. So it's really, you know, things do come up, things do rear their ugly heads. Like for me on my personal social, fitness is a huge part of what gets me back on track as a business owner. I feel like if I can conquer my body, I can conquer anything that comes to me, right? So I think about things that I want to share with my people on that personal profile, but it still is always connected to business in some way because I am a business owner. It is one of the things that I go to sleep thinking about and that I wake up thinking about as well, right? So that is the thing. So you have to know, what is my goal for my personal account? And this goes back to somebody asked earlier. I can't remember who it is, but somebody asked, well, Zay, like, what if I have 1,000 different things? So I love fitness. I don't monetize it. I love food. I don't monetize it, right? I love sharing about beauty sometimes. I don't monetize it. These are things that I don't monetize. I share about them, but I don't monetize because it's part of me and who I am. I share them, but I don't necessarily monetize them. It does not mean that later on in some other season of life or of the life of XayLi Barclay, I won't monetize these things, because these are things that I am building an audience about, right? Or that I'm constantly sharing about. So it doesn't mean that I need to monetize them right now, today. It just means that there are things that I'm interested in, I will always be interested in, but they're not at the forefront of monetization for XayLi Barclay right now, right? So you got to keep that in mind. I hope that really, 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 really helps. Yes, Sydney, that's one thing that I am really passionate about, right? If I can conquer my body, because discipline for me as it pertains to who you are and working out and all those things, like, listen, if I could conquer myself, I can conquer anything when it comes to business. When I'm doing my reps and I got to do 3 extra reps, I think about that because I know I'm so passionate about business, right? So I got to conquer myself before I can conquer anything else. And for me, business is a huge self-awareness journey. Fitness is a huge self-awareness journey. Like, I think about things as it pertains to life in that way. Right. So yes, that I hope that helps you know what your goals are when it comes to your personal account and your business account. I'm also a believer of, and it's funny because these two questions were kind of meshed or melded into each other, where people buy from people, not businesses. This is why now we know who are the owners behind certain businesses. We know that Howard Schultz, is the creator of Starbucks. We know, I hope I said that right. We know that Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. We know who is owning stuff on the back end now, because we're moving into a time where it does make a difference. So I hope that is helpful. I hope that helps you guys think about things. For me, yes, I will keep the XayLi Barclay brand because it definitely projects into the future, right? I will keep Start Shoot Grow because it is a passion of mine, helping other women to really monetize. Yes, Sydney said that was the biggest fitness motivation. I needed that and didn't even know I would get that today. Sydney, and this is a thing that is a personal aspect of me and my brand, right? That is not something that I teach where as it pertains to video content. Now, if we have to connect it, I can tell you that for me personally, being like being into fitness and just being, working out and eating clean, it keeps me very clear for business. It keeps me very fluid when I get on camera. I don't have things clouding my mind because I can speak fluently because I've worked out. I feel good. I feel like I look good. All of those things translate. Right. But yes, that is something that is on the personal aspect. Right. And Cassandra said, and now we will own on the back end and the front end. Yes. So that's what it is. It's really about, I know that I am a business owner and I do love business, but it really comes back to as well, who am I when I'm not in business mode, right? So those are things that I share. And it's funny because when I share things like that, I get the biggest responses, right? I get people saying, oh my gosh, say like, I didn't know that you use this moisturizer or you use this brand or you use this product. I have a hair sticking out that is just, girl, getting me. But anyway, so yes, think about it in terms of that. Now, we have, I think we answered all questions, guys. Yes, we did. Hey, Birdie Lynn, we did answer. I think we answered all questions. Now, I will tell you, we have a question for next week. And I'm going to show you what that question is, right? And that question is, not from Javon. It's my preview question. And I don't know if she's still here, but the amazing Taisha Bradley asked. And I think that this question really deserves its own full live stream, honey, because this question is packed, right? And I actually have a full masterclass mapped out based on this question. Crazy. But this question, I am going to get into it because it's such a good question. So Taisha, thank you for this question. You are going to be featured next week along with 2 other people. So if you are in the Facebook group, which if you're not in there, you can get in there by heading to XayLiBarclay.com. Get in there and ask your question. Make sure you hashtag Ask XayLi for a chance to be featured here on the live show. But let me tell you, Taisha asked, how can we get on the radar of major brands like you have with Thinkific and Adobe? And I will be sharing things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to brands next week. So I want you to right now put us on your calendar, 7:00 next Friday. We are kicking off with this amazing question from Taisha, right? And yes, and that is what it is. Let me see. I see that Denise asked one question. Let me see this. Okay, so I can answer that question. So that's the bonus question, guys. Denise, thank you for your question. I do hope you join our Facebook group so that you'd be able to ask XayLi otherwise. But I think you posted this twice, and that's why I'm going to answer it. Yes, Eliza Dukes. Yes, 7 p.m. every Friday, right? But Denise said how and where, and let me put that up on the screen. Let me see if I can put it somewhere so that we can see it, right? Oh man, I don't know if it's going to show because I see it darker than usual. But Denise asked, how and where do you begin when you are not tech savvy at all and everything is social media platforms, TikTok, etc.? Denise, the first thing I would ask is definitely what is your goal for what you're doing? That is the first question that I love to ask. What is your goal for what you're doing? Are you looking to attract? What is your goal for what you're doing? One, and where in your journey are you? Right, Cassandra, thank you. What part of your journey are you in? And even as we go forward with thinking about that, you have to think about, well, what platform is my audience using the most? So I would say pick one platform or 2. I love telling you guys, my power platforms are Instagram and YouTube. Right. But now I am rethinking that. Right? But you guys also have to remember, I've been using social for so many years, right? I've been using social for over a decade. So when I think about it, like, I have established myself in certain places, but now when I think about my business and, you know, what's really relevant, YouTube will always come first, because I feel like YouTube gets me subscribers and customers just by itself. I can stay away from the internet and YouTube is doing its thing, right? And I feel like everybody is on YouTube. So really about that, think about that in that way. Like, what are you looking to do? Where is your audience hanging out, or the people that you want to serve? Where are they specifically hanging out? I'm tripping over my words because I'm excited, but think about that. And then you start there. You can have 2 platforms. You can have 1 platform that you dominate. You do not have to do all of the things, especially when you're starting out and especially when you're not tech savvy. Number 2, answer for that question. I hate when women say we're not tech savvy, because apparently we leave all of this goodness for men. Right? So we decide that we're not good at tech, we're not good at this, and we're not good at that, when that is not true. All you have to do is learn how you can navigate. And that's why I'm really passionate about teaching women, because it's really about learning how. That's all that it is. So take a course or take a class based on technology. You are tech savvy. You definitely are. And I want you to think in that way, Denise. You saying you're not tech savvy is just something that you have created for yourself. And if you guys have been here before, you guys know that I'm all about mindset. Because sometimes I think about all of the things and I'm overwhelmed as well. But if you start in one place or space and you dominate that one place or space, then you can think about, you know, having a variation. Example, let's say that I am great at YouTube and Instagram, right? And I can now dominate Instagram. I can then upload my Instagram content to Facebook, or I can then hire a social media manager to do that for me. Just dominate one space. Think about one thing. You do not have to do what everybody else is doing. And I think that's a mistake that we make when we're consumers and consuming things online. Right? So I want you to think about that. Cassandra, welcome. I'm so happy that you spent your Friday evening with us. I was very nervous about doing this on a Friday, but my partner was like, you know what, in this time of COVID, I'm sure that people are probably at home, right? I keep hitting my mouth on my microphone, but yes, Yaya, I hope you're in the Facebook group, because I'm about to get off, but I would love to answer your question. That is something that I'm really passionate about. Denise, I want to tell you tonight that I believe in you, and I know that you are tech savvy. You just have not delved or gotten your fingers wet into all of the goodness that is tech. It is not difficult. I love sharing things that are helpful for other people, really easy things that are helpful for other people, so that they can do what I am doing here. Because in doing this, you can grow your audience, you can completely change your life and become more free, because you're able to then work for yourself. You can do your own marketing, you can get in front of the camera and build and grow relationships and all of that amazingness, right? Sophia asked if I have a podcast. Sophia, girl, let me tell you, I have had 3 variations of a podcast, but I'm getting into it. Definitely getting into it. So I'm going to figure that out. I may start doing live podcast episodes. We are also figuring out how we're going to repurpose all of this goodness that we're doing every Friday. So it's coming, Sophia. Thank you for your foresight and foreseeing that. And you even asking shows me that you will listen, right? And that you definitely believe in whatever we are doing here. So I love that question. Cassandra said it's perfect for a Friday. I love that you shared that, Cassandra. Maybe I'll keep it on Fridays. I'm not too sure just yet. And I'm a testament to show you guys, like, yo, if you don't completely know what you're doing just yet, that's totally fine. Just, start it, which is why we have Start, Shoot, Grow. Right? Also, Cassandra said, Congrats on your first episode. Thank you, Cassandra. I really, really appreciate that. Like I said, if you read my email, you know that I've been thinking about doing this for a while. And, we're just getting started. Birdie Lynn TV said, invite me on. So that's another thing that we are going to be doing. We are going to be doing interviews really soon. I don't have a specific date for you just yet, but definitely we are doing interviews. So if you are in the Facebook group, because that's the people that I do want to feature first, I would love to keep you guys updated as to when we're doing interviews, or I already know that segment is going to be called the Confidence Show, because confidence is my creation. It's near and dear to my heart. And I really want to cater to people who have gotten confident on camera and who are, doing it. Like just out there, definitely doing it. So yeah, guys, this is our first episode. It was an hour in. We answered 3 questions, which I'm so super excited about. So we have so many things coming, and I would appreciate if you guys are here. If you share with somebody else that you feel like needs this kind of vibe, this kind of content. Our Facebook group is absolutely lit. So I would love to have you in there as well. And I would love for you to ask questions. Like, ask your questions, and I definitely will be happy to answer, right? MMM Mason 627 said, your setup, audio, and video quality is excellent, and you look fabulous. Congrats on your first episode. Thank you, guys. It's so funny. You guys were saying congrats, and I'm nervous as hell because now I'm like, damn, we really got to show up and do this. Right? But listen, I am here for the challenge. Thank you so much, love. Yes, Cassandra said, absolutely do a podcast. You have something special in your voice called hope and belief. Listen, we are here for that. Taisha, I totally just answered a full question for you and featured you, and you weren't even here. So I hope you go back and let me know if no, actually I did not answer your question, Taisha. You are being featured next week, so I hope you're ready. But yes, I shared that just now. I shared what we are gonna share from the Taisha Bradley, because she definitely asked. I don't know if you caught it, but yes. So now that you know, yes, ma'am. Yes. And Sydney said, I would die from happiness to be on your podcast. Goals. Guys, I have a lot of amazing stuff coming. And the cool thing is that you guys are not afraid to show up and share and just speak out. And that keeps me excited, because I love seeing how much you guys are growing and just showing out, so definitely that is a no-brainer. Latasha said, awesome first episode. Yes. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you for being here. Let's see how this thing goes. I'm committed to it as long as you guys are here asking questions and just being inquisitive and taking action with, everything that I share. So guys, listen. If you are not subscribed, if you're not in the Facebook group, I encourage you to do so. I appreciate you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. And I really look forward to connecting with you guys next week. I think I have 2 questions so far for next week. So if you guys want to dive in to the Facebook group and ask questions, we can definitely have you featured here on this show, the Ask XayLi show. Thank you so much, Narquita. Narquita said, congratulations, my first time. Thank you so much. Wow, we had a few first timers here tonight, and I have to thank the people who shared, because obviously that came from probably somebody sharing or you guys getting into my email. So thank you so much. Jan, thank you. I really appreciate you. It's so funny. Every time I meet someone in person, they're like, oh my gosh, XayLi, like if I hear a name, I can give you your first and last name, right? So Jan, I know that we have interacted before. I always remember my people's names. I may not remember a face, but I will always remember a name. And I will always remember a name of people that are always here, always in the content somehow, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, IG. And I'm always super grateful for you guys. So thank you. All right, guys. So I'm about to get off. Make sure that you are subscribed and make sure you are signed up for the Facebook group. It's lit in there. And yeah, I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for showing up for you and me tonight in the Ask XayLi show. And I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye, guys. I love you so much. Take care.